10 days out. So really what I'm eating now is really just trying to stay, just eat. It's mostly protein. That's really what it is. Today, fortunately, I get to have a carb up day, which is basically I get to have carbs in my meals. So most of my meals don't have any carbs except for vegetables. And my first meal always has oatmeal. So that's the only carbs I get. And I'm kind of like carb cycling. So I'll do maybe like 3 days of that where it's just carbs in the morning and then protein veggies throughout the day. And then depending when me and my coach decide, it might be a carb up. So we'll do another high carb day. And that'll have, right now it'll be oatmeal in the morning, and then every meal would have 200 grams of rice added onto that. I have a total of 5 meals, so it's four meals with 200 grams of rice added on a carb day. Uh, I'm not really gonna get into the numbers and all that stuff because everyone's kind of fucking different. Like, so don't just think that you're gonna get the same results with what I'm eating. And stuff like that. With carbs, when you take them out, the body tends to try to absorb everything else that it has, bringing in a tighter look. And when you give it carbs, it kind of fluffs out. So I was ordered a muffin for pre-workout today. So this is not even mine, but I got a muffin yesterday and I had it this morning for pre-workout before I trained arms today. I don't usually take anything for pre-workout. I don't. So today it was kind of like, it was a good treat to have something. I like to train fasted most of the time. And if I do, like when I'm not on prep or when I'm not on, getting closer to peak week, it's mostly like a fruit, like a banana, that I'll have. 6 egg whites and 1 whole egg. And then my oatmeal, of course. So my second meal usually of the day is a quick whey protein shake. 44 grams of protein is what for whey protein, and 200 grams of rice. Now this is a carb up day, so this is the day that I get to have some rice into my meals to fill out my muscles and stuff. Measuring your meals and having everything measured out to the T is important because you got to understand. For a coach's standpoint, you got to understand what the person's putting in their body and what to make changes of. For my coach, he has to know specifically what kind of carbs I'm putting in and how much I'm actually putting in without missing anything to divert the actual outcome look that we're trying to get. So like I said before, I haven't been on carbs. I've been on very low carbs because we're depleting. So my muscles and my body looks kind of flat. So what the carbs are going to do is just going to, now the body that has, my body's been asking for carbs, it's going to soak it up, it's going to pull it in, it's going to pull it into the muscles, and it's going to get a nice, rounder, fuller look than we did when I didn't have carbs. Now, this is a way to kind of stay full getting into the show, but also a way to see the timing of when you want to put the carbs in previous to the show on peak week to make sure that you don't overspill on too much carbs or you don't come in too flat. It's a science. It could be a hit and miss, but it's definitely something that you have to pay attention to and just be on point with the measurements that your coach gives you and trust that and go with it. So usually on the deficit, it's protein and veggies, but like I said, it's a carb up, so 200 grams added to each meal. This is meal 3. Oops, meal 3. So meal 4 is basically, while I'm cutting, it's protein and egg whites. So right now I have a bowl of ground beef and my egg whites together. And again, today is the special day of carving up, so I have some rice. On normal, like I said, this meal does not include carbs. I'm usually just cutting them down. And having black coffee with like 0 calories sweetener. Meal 5, my last meal, is basically the same thing as my previous meal, which is protein and veggies. I'm not going to get into how much of what. When it comes to protein, whether it be chicken breast, ground turkey, ground beef, fish, salmon, and my carbs are usually the same. I like sweet potato, but I'll stick to rice most of the time. For me personally, I don't mind sticking to the same food over and over and over. It's the bodybuilder type chicken and rice type of shit, and a lot of people like to venture and do different foods, and there's more ways to do things, and you don't necessarily have to always have the same thing that the next person's having. I choose to eat this way because it makes it simpler for me to prepare, to cook. I enjoy it. I actually enjoy the taste of rice all the time and everything. I don't get tired of it. Um, Boiled eggs, I know a lot of people don't really like boiled eggs. They'll rather have egg whites and stuff like that. I don't mind boiled eggs, so this fits me personally. But at the same time, when it comes to eating the foods during a prep, everything is crucial. Like you can't miss meals. You can't add in meals. You can't try to um, it's so important to get your protein intake and your carb intake, especially like a day like today that I'm carving up. It's purposely done. So everything that I eat, as far as my carbs, it's important to have them, and then take a look at the pictures and check-ins later to see how we look, and to keep progressing day by day as we get to the closest to the show and stuff. So that's basically what I eat in a day. Today happens to be carb day, so I'm eating rice on a regular. I wouldn't be eating rice, but and water. I'm up to 2 gallons of water right now. Water is essential because right now we're in a process of filling the body up with all the water and then flushing and flushing and flushing. So when it gets time to, when we get down to next week, peak week, we can start bringing the water intake down and start uh, tightening up that way. I don't use diuretics or anything like that. I haven't used like a fat burner or anything like that. Everything I've been doing has been pretty much natural, just a lot of cardio yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's what I eat in a day, and stick around for some more.